Rasmussen on pole, Brendan Lee alongside him, all 5 lights are on. And we're racing in Abu Dhabi. Who's going to get the best start? A lot of wheel spin, and here comes Brendan Lee up the inside for Mercedes, and he's into the lead of the race, surely. Yes, Rasmussen goes out very wide and holds the lead of the race. That might be a little finger wag for Brendan Lee there. Beresnay in 3rd, Alain van der Waal in 4th, 5th for Jonny Tormela, 6th for Bono Cuisse. And look at that, he's giving the place back there, Frederik Rasmussen. He knew that that wasn't particularly great, so he has handed back the race lead to Brendan Lee. Rasmussen 2nd, 3rd for Beresnay. Sensible driving there from Frederik Rasmussen.
Yeah, he tried Rasmussen on the outside, and then he stayed flat out. He used all the escape road, maybe was wrong, and so he gave back the position. Well done to Rasmussen, but Lee, did you saw how he opened the line? Beresny now is putting pressure on Rasmussen for the 2nd position.
Alain van der Waal doing a good job in 4th place for the Sauber team. 5th is Jonny Tormela, 6th is Bono Cuisse. So they are pretty much where they started now. Rasmussen's under big pressure for 2nd place. Whoa, the door's closed, the door's closed, Daniel. Oh, he's found the room. Great little dummy, but can't quite get the job done there. He was determined to get the inside line, wasn't he?
Yeah, he tried twice or 3 times, but I think that
off is Marcel Kiefer, and off is Patrick Holtzman. He's out of the race for Toro Rosso. A big collision further back there, and Sven Zerner was caught up in that too. Martin Stefanko, I think, has got involved as well. All sorts of chaos, and that was coming out down into, I think, turn 11. And this, meanwhile, is Daniel Beresnay still in 3rd place. Holtzman definitely out of the race.
And the crash was big, and I think that so many cars, they have some damage now, and so we need to check it out, the standings in the next few laps, because I think that some drivers, they are going to suffering. And look, 4 drivers in the pit, 5 drivers in the pit stop.
Jonny Tormela in the pits as well. He was actually running quite high up the order. Here we go on board with Daniel Beresnay. In the bottom right is the Hungarian, as he comes now into the left-hander at turn 7 that takes him out on the back straight. Still no DRS yet on lap 2 of 28, 50% race distance. He might be able to close in here without the DRS. Getting a bit of a slipstream coming up towards the first chicane. Rasmussen decides not to cover the inside line, and Beresnay decides not to go for the overtake, maybe on the next straight.
It's important to prepare this exit for the 2nd straight. Oh, maybe he's going to try, because seems close enough. Yeah!
Graham Carroll up the inside there of Alvaro Caraton. The Red Bull driver goes through. An impressive move from Graham Carroll, who's had a frustrating season so far. The former real-life racing driver, raced in Formula Ford in Scotland for a number of years, and now he's managed to get up into 7th spot ahead of Alvaro Caraton. Only just, though, the Williams driver, the Spaniard who we heard from earlier on, still putting up a bit of a fight to try and get past Carroll.
Caraton is 8th, and he started last. He started 17th. How he could recover so many positions in 2 laps. Very well done for Caraton. That is putting pressure on Carroll for a very good position.
And 2 cars off further back. Who was that? I think that's Enzo Benito running wide, and Sven Zerner going side by side as well. DRS is now enabled. Caraton must have taken advantage of everyone pitting and crashing, and that's why he now is all the way up in 8th position. Donoso and Graham Carroll come into the pits as well. So these are very early pit stops.
Yeah, probably it's too early. I think that they are going to suffer so much with the tire degradation at the end of the race. I don't think that was a clever maneuver, but we check it out at the end. Carroll and Donoso, they just had the pit stop, and Sven Zerner also is in the pit, so I don't know, we check it out at the end, but probably it's too early. Look, Beresnay is going to try to Rasmussen.
He is right behind Rasmussen. He's got the DRS now. You heard that little beep. That means he can open the flap in the rear wing. Rasmussen doesn't really defend. Confident he can get it and hold it on the brakes all the way around the outside. He might be able to do it, and he does. Very impressive stuff from Rasmussen. But again, he's going to be under pressure now as they come down the 2nd straight. Covers the inside line. Beresnay in the Mercedes. Looks to the outside. Rasmussen is going to have a long day ahead of him if he's going to continue this fight. Beresnay runs out of room and has to slot in behind again.
Anyway, Rasmussen was perfect in the defending because he chose the line very well. And look, on his side, easy and smooth maneuver, but no, he's resisting on the outside.
This is Enzo Benito battling with Alvaro Caraton now. Bono Cuisse is up into 5th place. Caraton is in front of Benito and up into 6th position. This is a wonderful drive from the Spaniard, Alvaro Caraton.
It was just perfect. He started 17th. He used the advantage of the driver that created the incident in the first lap, and then now he's performing very well. So well done to Carreton. Fantastic recovery from the last row.
Only 17 years of age, Alvaro Carreton, relatively new to sim racing, the young man from Seville, but here now is this battle with Carreton on the left-hand side. We're on board with Enzo Benito as they go side by side over the line. Benito in the orange McLaren. Can't get it done around the outside, gets the cut back though, and is going to be back into 6th place before too long. So there we go, Benito back up into 6th spot. Good little scrap between the McLaren and the Williams, and that's allowing Martin Stefanko into the fight as well. That is Enzo Benito in the bottom right, the Italian racer for the McLaren team. The Race of Champions, E-Race of Champions winner last year. And meanwhile, this is Daniel Beresnay again, still trying to get past Frederick Rasmussen. Bono Huis is now into 4th place, past Alec van der Waal. So Bono Huis now only 4 seconds away from the podium. Beresnay not close enough in 2nd place though yet.
He lost a bit the momentum, Beresnay. It seems that 2 laps ago he was much quicker than Rasmussen. He was much closer. He lost the chance there because Rasmussen defended very well. But now seems that he's losing a bit of time. He's still there on the DRS zone, but not close enough, Beresnay, to try to overtake Rasmussen.
Lap 4 of 28 in the final race of the season in the F1 New Balance Esports Series of 2018. That's Alec van der Waal, who is in 5th place, trying to close down Bono Huis in front of him. The 24-year-old Dutchman in the McLaren, with Alec van der Waal, another Dutchman, right behind him as they come into the final corner at turn 20. Huis is now starting to build a bit of a gap, I think, in that 4th place. You can see Alec van der Waal is 2nd slower than his previous best lap time as the tyres start to go away.
You can use overtake to get past.
You can use overtake to get past, so that means he's got, you can see at the top there, it's gone, but it was the fuel mix, and he's got almost 2 laps more fuel than he needs, so he can afford to use a little bit more. Into the pits as well now has come Alvaro Carreton in the Williams. I wonder if we're seeing some 2-stop strategies here in this race. We've been used to seeing 1 stop in the 25% race distances, but we may be looking at 2 stops, and that explains the early pit stops that we're seeing, apart from all the guys that had a massive crash.
Yeah, probably can be one of the idea of the driver that had the pit so early, trying to have a very fresh tires at the end and explode all the speed. And look at here, seems that is close enough. Extremely important, this chicane, last hairpin before the main straight. You need the exit very close to the car in front of you. Try to open the gas very early to stay in the DRS zone. Yes, he will have the use of the DRS and probably is going to try the attack.
On board with Graham Carroll in the Red Bull, closing in on the Sauber of Sally Sautuck. They're out of the points positions at the minute, but Carroll cruises past, coming down and then moves back over to take the racing line. He got so far in front. Good move there. It's good news for Sauber as far as the team's championship is concerned, with Alec van der Waal up in 5th, but all of the others in that fight are sort of a bit hit and miss, really, aren't they? With the Red Bull drivers in 9th and 11th, and this is Sally Sautuck trying to fight back on Graham Carroll, but not quite close enough. And the other Sauber of Sally Sautuck out of the points as well at the moment. And Marcel Kiefer down in 16th, and Fabrizio Donoso in 10th place.
They were not lucky because they had the incident during the first lap.
Yeah.
Kiefer was the one that was involved, and the first lap crashed, and he lost the chance to perform very well. In the last few races, he was strong enough to achieve the podium, but he missed it. And today, still another unlucky race for Marcel Kiefer that is running in the penultimate position at the moment. Also, he retired.
You can see the tyres they're using on the left-hand side there. So it is the 2 Hasses are looking in a strong position, actually. 7th and 8th for Martin Stefanko and Michael Schmidl, but they're on the harder compound of tyre compared to the race leaders. So that might play into the hands of Haas a little bit later over the course of this race. We're on board with Marcel Kiefer, who is trying to fight back after being involved in the chaos on the opening lap. He's up behind Tino Naukkarinen in the Williams, so late on the brakes coming into that chicane. And just in front of them is the other Williams, isn't it, of Tino Naukkarinen. So this is 15th, 16th and 17th, all right together on the circuit. They're not too far behind Kimi Larsen either, as they come down the back straight. And the 3 of them are going to get DRS, and Kimi Larsen is not, so he might get a little bit swamped before too long. But Brendan Lee still leading the way, 2.7 seconds clear of Frederick Rasmussen on lap 6 of 28. Beresnay half a second back from Rasmussen, so that fight's still going, but Beresnay hasn't been able to make the move yet. This could get interesting here. Is anyone going to be close enough for a move? Not just yet. Williams, the Force India, and then the other Williams.
Not an easy condition for Kiefer in the middle of
Yeah.
the Williams, but both of the drivers, they are using the DRS. So when you're following a car that is using the DRS, it's not so easy. Try the attack, and he's struggling a bit for this reason.
Kimi Larsen is going to get swamped up by them before too long. Kiefer's looking very quick. In fact, both Kiefer and Caraton are looking faster than Tino Naukkarinen in 15th place. A shame for this season, Tino Naukkarinen. He was incredibly strong and he's just got a 3-second time penalty as well for exceeding track limits. A little shake of the head for the Finn, but he was so quick in the Pro Draft series, but it hasn't quite come together for him in the actual proper series that we're in now, as we go on board with Marcel Kiefer in 16th place.
Now he's going to try, because look, extremely important here, but look the line that they are using. They are using, look, they use on the track. Try to don't be with the four wheels out of the white line. This exit extremely important for Kiefer. Seems close enough. I hear Renault is going to do it. He's going to do it on the inside with the DRS.
Past Sally Southern with the DRS. Alain van der Waals be given a 3-second time penalty. He's in 5th place. Well, a bit of a lock-up from Sven Zerner, but he gets it stopped. And now here's Marcel Kiefer. He's got the inside line, and he's going through past Tino Naukkarinen and up into 15th place then for the Force India driver, and now Naukkarinen is going to lose out to Alvaro Caraton as well. The two Williams slipstreaming each other down the next little straight, and Marcel Kiefer's next target will be the Renault in front. And this is on board with Tino Naukkarinen, who has lost 2 places. Can Caraton keep with Kiefer as well as they try and climb up the field? Left 7 of 28 in the final race of the season.
We saw a 3-second penalty for Van der Waart, but we need to think that maybe this penalty is not so heavy in this kind of race, because it's double length, and so you can have the chance to open the gap 3 seconds to the car that is following you and not losing the position. So Van der Waart has to keep the focusing and try to achieve this position, because at the moment he's running 5th and he has 6-second advantage to Enzo Bonito, 7th.
And if you get the penalty before the pit stop, you serve it in the pit stop as well. So once these guys who get their 3-second time penalties, whatever, once they're in the pits, that's when it's served, so they come out where they should be, and it won't be post-race penalties applied. Here now comes Alvaro Caraton. He's going to be super close to the back of Kiefer as they come out. He's so fast through that chicane every single time. And now he'll take a nice wide line into the hairpin, try and get on the power as soon as possible. And this should be a fairly straightforward move for Caraton for 15th place.
Also because he prepared very well the exit. He opened the line at the entry of the hairpin. He was perfect at the exit, and look, using the stream, and then the DRS, outside.
Wow, what a move that will be from Caraton if he can pull it off. The back end sliding, but he's got it done. That was absolutely fantastic from Alvaro Caraton. Sent it in sideways, and now the Force India, though, is going to fight back. Kiefer looks to the outside. Tino Naukkarinen is going to try and get in the fight as well. Kiefer around the outside in the Force India. They're both in super late. Kiefer's pushed off the track, cut straight across. That's one for the stewards. That's Palmer Alonso-esque, that one.
50-50, but Kiefer is going to give the position back. Not easy, because he has the teammate of Caraton that he got the position. Kiefer was not so clever in that maneuver.
Tino Naukkarinen then up in front of Marcel Kiefer, who drops back behind the two Williams, having been in front of them a couple of moments ago. This is all over 15th place, but it's lovely.
What a fight.
Yeah.
That was very interesting. Kiefer was defending the position very well at that break, but that maybe was forced by Caraton to use the escape road. He thought to be wrong, and he gave the position back. But now Karinen, he got the chance, and he took the position to Kiefer.
That 9 of 28 in the final race of the season. Brendan Lee still leading, 1.8 seconds clear of Frederick Rasmussen, who's managed to build the gap to Daniel Beresnay up to 1.6 seconds. Bono Quis still running in 4th place for McLaren. 5th is Alain van der Waal in the Sauber, but he has got a 3-second time penalty that he'll be serving in his pit stop. Enzo Benito in 6th, Stefanko, Schmidl, Tormela and Donoso the top 10.
checking the standings, Rasmussen is gaining on Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
It was 2 seconds, 0.8, and now it drops down to 1.7.
Michael Schmidl's been given a time penalty here now. Up the inside goes Fabrizio Donoso Delgado. He sent that in too deep. That allows the cutback for the Red Bull of Joni Tormola, and he holds on to 9th position. Good little squabble, whatever here. And Sven Zern has been given a 3-second time penalty as well. But this is all over 9th place as it stands. Joni Tormola in 9th in the Red Bull. Fabrizio Donoso Delgado and Marcel Kiefer a 3-second time penalty too.
Not an easy condition for them because they are fighting, and when you do the overtakes it's easier to miss the brake and to go outside with the 4 wheels from the white line, and so they were a bit unlucky also.
But you're right about the race lead. Look, it's down to 1.2 seconds now. Fredrik Rasmussen is almost in DRS range of Brendan Lee. Was he just looking after his tyres a little in the opening part of this stint, or is Brendan Lee starting to struggle now? We'll keep an eye out on that gap.
I don't know, to be honest, but Brandon Lee, if he's struggling with tires, it's not so easy to manage the condition, because look, lap 10 out of 28. If you pit now, maybe it's too early.
Yeah.
You need to wait a bit more, but the contender, your rival, Rasmussen, is gaining on you, so not an easy condition for Brandon Lee to choose the best strategy.
Bono Huis is closing on Daniel Beresnay as well. That gap has come down to 3.6 seconds, so it's this man here. Fredrik Rasmussen is the man on the charge. As you can see, the top 8 have yet to pit. Everybody else has pitted through a mixture of strategy and damage. Fabrizio Donoso Delgado, the next man to get a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Brendan Lee pits. Into the pit lane comes Brendan Lee, then the race leader. Fredrik Rasmussen decides to stay out. This is the continuing battle between Fabrizio Donoso and Joni Tormola. Then you've got Carroll, Zerner and Sally Sautok behind. But Fredrik Rasmussen takes the lead of the race away. It's the super soft tyres now for Brendan Lee. He has a little check of the scoreboards as he makes his way out of the pits and the timing screens. But where is he going to come out in terms of traffic as well? Because that could cost him.
Yeah, you're right. It can be the key moment of the race. Check it out, the Brandon Lee out lap from the pit lane, and the lap of Fredrik Rasmussen that is leading the race now. He's not having any reference in front of him, just free space. He needs to push to try to achieve the leading just after the pit stop.
Is it easier with free space in front of you, or is it easier to follow a car as like a chasing?
In theory, before was the perfect condition. You have the leader, you have the best driver in the world at the moment, you have the champion of 2018 just in front of you, and you are gaining. Perfect situation to say, today, I'm the boss, man.
So we're on board with now. That was a good one. He's up behind Joni Tormola. The Red Bull driver doesn't cover the inside, and that allows Fabrizio Donoso Delgado up the inside. He has got a 3-second time penalty, and the Red Bull will try and fight back down the next straight now. It's very tactical, these DRS zones here, because even if you get overtaken, you can then get the DRS on the next straight and try and fight back, because there's a second detection point. But the Red Bull looks a little bit too far away to be able to get back up into that 9th position. Brendan Lee is only in a 1.5 seconds behind Enzo Benito, so he hasn't come out in real clear air here. Into the pits comes Fredrik Rasmussen, then the gap came down to 1.2 seconds. This is going to be very, very tight at the pit lane exit. The Toro Rosso driver pulls down into his marks. The team, the fictional team, obviously, the virtual team, that's the word, get to work, 2.6 seconds. Here comes Brendan Lee across the line. We've got this underground pit exit here that you'll see Rasmussen popping out of in a moment. I think Lee's going to hold on to this pretty well, isn't he? Here comes Rasmussen. Brendan Lee's miles in front. So those fresher tyres on the super softs, he's put a superb lap in, and he's disappeared up the road. That must be a good 3 or 4 seconds now. The difference between them, 4 seconds it is, from Brendan Lee to Fredrik Rasmussen.
Why? He lost too much in the pit lane. Probably his pit lane entry lap was not perfect. Probably he lost something in the pit lane entry. And look, Brendan Lee was just unbelievable in this out lap. Look at the overtake, so easily, so smooth. So he's flying again just after the pit stop.
He's the boss again now.
Yeah, he's the boss again now. Rasmussen has to recover, but he's not in an easy condition at the moment.
So, Brendan Lee resumes the net lead of the race, makes his way past the McLaren of Enzo Benito that is yet to pit. Bono Huis leads, but has yet to stop. Same is true of Alec van der Waal, who lead, but he's second and has yet to stop. Then it's Brendan Lee in third. He has stopped, Benito hasn't in fourth, Rasmussen has in fifth, but the gap between Rasmussen and Beresnay remained the same, about 3 seconds. So it's Brendan Lee that was the big winner in that. Here we've got some Red Bulls fighting, Yanni Tordomolo and Graham Carroll, and I think they've both had the same amount of pit stops. So I think this is a true battle for position between the Red Bull drivers over 10th and 11th place at the moment, with the Force India of Fabrizio De Noso in 9th place. Fastest lap banged in by Brendan Lee.
That's why he was so much in front to Rasmussen, because he just set the fastest lap of the race. I think that Brendan Lee, just after the pit stop, just delivered 100% of his speed, and he made a huge difference. Now will be not easy for Rasmussen. Try to recover 4 seconds of gap.
Bono Huis has come into the pits, and he is going to emerge still just behind Daniel Beresnay by about 5 seconds, but with fresher tyres.
A good position for him, and consider that Enzo Bonito has to stop, didn't stop yet.
Yeah.
I think the Bono Huis is on the top 5, so well done for him that he was not so lucky during this season, but he's getting better in the last 2 events, so well done.
Here is Sven Zerner now in the Renault, up behind Graham Carroll. This is the battle over 8th place at the moment. The DRS open for Sven Zerner. Carroll covers the inside line. Zerner forced to go to the outside, but he gets the move done on the brakes, gets past Graham Carroll, and now Sally Sautunk is going to join the fight as well in that Sauber, lap 13 of 28. So we're approaching half race distance. And we'll see what happens here with Sally Sautunk, because he's going to get the slipstream and the DRS on Carroll and Zerner. Looks to the outside to just try and keep out of any trouble that might kick off, but Zerner it is, still in that 8th position just about. The final sequence of corners, down towards the hotel. We're on board once more with Sally Sautunk, race winner in Germany a couple of races ago.
Usually this man is getting better during the race.
Yeah.
In the second half of the race, usually is performing and delivering better result and better performance. So I would like to keep an eye on him. Ah, look, pit stop for the top 2 drivers.
Yeah, so Sven Zerner comes into the pits, as does Graham Carroll. They get on the brakes. Those two had a pit lane battle in Germany a couple of races ago. No such troubles this time around. This is Frederick Rasmussen, meanwhile. He's behind Enzo Benito, who is still yet to make his pit stop. So Benito's still going around out there in the McLaren, and Frederick Rasmussen now gets up into 2nd place, where he sort of is anyway, because Benito hasn't stopped. You can see the pit stoppers there. So that was Sven Zerner and Graham Carroll's 2nd pit stop. Same is true of Yanni Tordomolo as well. So those guys all going for 2 stops at the moment, some due to damage, some due to strategy, on lap 14 of 28. And 3.6 seconds then, the gap between Lee and Rasmussen. Let's see if Rasmussen can do anything about that.
He's starting to gain a bit yet, because seems that Rasmussen probably he has a bit of more performance, more speed than Brendan Lee, but now he has to recover 3.6 seconds. Not easy, but he can do it. Also, we need to consider that he has 1 lap less on tires, that now is not making difference, but probably at the end of the race he's doing something. I think that Rasmussen has to believe in it. Also because in some part of the track, he still look at him. Look, Rasmussen, I think that at this exit he can see Brendan Lee and give you an extra confidence to say, you are again on my mirror, you are again on my view, I can catch you.
Half race distance in the final race of the season. Alvaro Caraton's been given a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings for track limits as well, but it's Brendan Lee who is leading as it stands. 3.3 seconds in front of Frederick Rasmussen in 2nd place, Daniel Beresnay in 3rd. That would secure Mercedes the Constructors' Championship and the $50,000 that go with it. Toro Rosso would remain in 2nd. 3rd place would be incredibly tight, because Martin Stefanko's up there in 5th place, although he has yet to make a pit stop, so Haas are involved. Fabrizio De Noso's done a good job. He's in 6th place in the Force India. The Saubers are in 8th and 9th, which isn't bad. Michael Schmidl's just at the fastest lap of the race for Haas as well. So that 3rd place is going to be really hard fought over. But Frederick Rasmussen in 2nd, still 3.3 seconds from Brendan Lee. He's not closing the gap much at the moment. Bono still in 4th. Stefanko 5th. Closest battle on the track is the 2 Saubers, Alec van der Waal and Sally Sautunk. There's also this little battle here going on with Sven Zerner up behind Joni Tormala in the battle over 12th place. Tormala doesn't cover the inside line, allows Sven Zerner the chance to get up the inside into the chicane, and then the Red Bull will try and fight back. There's a huge amount of curve on the way in and the way out, but I think he's going to be a bit too far away from the Renault.
Sven Zerner was perfect. He prepared the overtakes very well. He was very close on the main straight with the using of the DRS. He catch the position, and in front of him he has Marcel Kiefer. Not easy to catch, but is achievable for him. Zerner, no, 3-second penalty. Just now we were on board with him and probably catch that curb a bit too much, and he got the penalty.
Yeah, he shakes his head as he continues to work the wheel, and he'll have to try and put that to the back of his mind and carry on. Martin Stefanko finally pits from 5th position, so he will drop down. He already did 15 laps on those super soft tyres, and he's now going to put on ultra soft tyres for the final stint. So he's going to have a reasonable amount of pace. Enzo Benito has done the same strategy as well. Sven Zerner sets the fastest lap of the race so far, but he's still got that 3-second time penalty. He's 1.7 seconds away from Marcel Kiefer, who's the final man in the points-paying positions. This is Enzo Benito in 6th place, right behind Fabrizio Donoso. I was just saying that Benito is on a softer compound of tyre to Donoso. Is he going to be able to make the move here? He's a bit too far back, isn't he? Unless he fancies a mega lunge next time.
Yeah, from my point of view, good idea, because look, he's preparing the exit of the second chicane, and now with the DRS, he's trying to attack immediately on the outside line, and that's a bit strange, but more speed. Oh, he's already in front on the straight.
Wow, what a move that from Enzo Benito around the outside. Got a superb run out of the chicane and was able to cruise past the Force India. So that's 4th and 5th now for McLaren. Here's the other Force India of Marcel Kiefer, side by side with Sven Zerner, and the Renault is in front as they get on the brakes. So Sven Zerner in 10th place now, the final points-paying position. But that's really good for McLaren to be 4th and 5th. They haven't had a great season, quite frankly, but double points on offer. This will be a huge chunk of positions in the Constructors' Championship if they can hold on to this on lap 17 of 28.
Yeah, they are delivering and performing very well. Tino Nakorin, 3-second penalty, are not very lucky also because he's 17th at the moment. Yeah. I think that Donoso is struggling with tires. He just lost one position, we saw it, and now he lost the position on Van der Waal. So I think that he's struggling a lot with tires, and he went in the pit just to have his second pit stop already.
Yeah, same is true of Sally Sautunk in the Sauber, so a few second pit stops starting to rotate through now. And I think that the leaders, so you can see how many laps they've done on these tyres here. So the top 7, I would say, are done. They've only done 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 laps on those tyres, whereas you can see Marcel Kiefer, for example, he's going to be stopping again because he's done 15 laps on those super softs.
Probably one of the next lap is going to use the ultra soft for the second part of the race and have the chance, because look, he's under pressure at the moment.
Yep, so there is the look. Michael Schmidl going up the inside of Marcel Kiefer, and that is now 8th place for Michael Schmidl. And Sven Zerner is going to be the next man up the road, 3 seconds further in front. Fabrizio Donoso and Graham Carroll side by side. They're both off the circuit, and that allows Martin Stefanko to come past both of them in the Haas. But now it's going to get all busy coming down into the next chicane. Who's going to emerge in front? It's still Stefanko with Graham Carroll behind, and then Fabrizio Donoso Delgado. So that's 11th, 12th and 13th position. Great little scrap there on lap 18 of 28. 11 laps to go. Brendan Lee, his lead has come down a little to under 3 seconds.
Probably Rasmussen is starting to believe in it. It's just less than 3 seconds. And look, Kiefer, yeah, you were right. He's struggling with tires. 15 laps on these tires. He's trying to defend the position. Probably he's going to be on the pit lane. Look, look, he's crossing.
And the Red Bull goes up the inside just as Kiefer's trying to pit. That could have gone poorly, but they got away with it just about.
Was tough and hard, and they were close to have a huge incident. But I think that was incredibly important for Kiefer having the pit stop, because his tires, they were gone.
Gone. Brendan Lee leading the way. 2.9 seconds clear of Frederick Rasmussen. Daniel Beresnay in 3rd place, 4th for Bonacquist, 5th for Enzo Benito. Alain Van der Waal on the super soft tyre will be a bit frustrated, I think, when he's slipped down to 6th position, having started in 4th place on the grid. And then Sven Zerner, Michael Schmidl, Joni Tormala and Martin Stefanko completing the top 10. Keep an eye on Fabrizio Donoso Delgado, though. He's got a brand new set of ultra-soft tyres on. He's only a couple of seconds away from the final points-paying position, so I think Donoso is going to be entertaining in these remaining 10 laps as Brendan Lee comes across the line in a moment to start lap 19 of 28. This is Alvaro Caraton.
And Caraton probably has a good exit. He probably is going to attack because look, DRS is not very close, but he has the extra speed of the DRS and maybe he's going to try a late attack. No, it was a bit too far. He didn't want to risk.
Yep, let's just see whether he's able to do it coming out of this chicane. Not quite close enough. So 10 laps to go. Matt Gallagher, what are you making of the race so far?
I'm absolutely loving this race at the moment. The variation of strategies, you've got people on hypersofts, super softs, ultra softs. The strategy element is absolutely fascinating, and I don't think we'll see a set order until the final lap. And you can see Alvaro Caraton in 15th at the moment on the ultra softs. And one thing I've noticed at the moment is the McLarens running in 4th and 5th, double points. That could be huge for the constructors. That's probably a 40-odd point haul. Yeah. I know, you're pretty impressed, Jack. I can see that over there, but it's going to be... I mean, that could propel McLaren up to where maybe they belong. Is this the race, Jack, that they get the luck?
McLaren are back, is that what we're saying?
Yes, 4th and 5th, loving it.
Wow. Lap 19 of 28 in the F1 Esports Pro Series final race of 2018. Brendan Lee already the champion, not officially, but he'll surely be the champion if he finishes this race as well, so whatever. But here's a look up the inside from Martin Stefanko. That's 9th place now for the Haas driver, past Joni Tormala's Red Bull. And here now is the Sauber of Sally Sautunk, and he is going side by side with Graham Carroll's Red Bull. And Sautunk is up now into 12th position. Fabrizio Donoso Delgado only 2 seconds back from Joni Tormala and Martin Stefanko. So that's going to be a good little fight. Here comes Graham Carroll trying to get back. They come into view, and it is the Sauber who is in front of Sally Sautunk, with Graham Carroll behind in 13th place. Then you've got Kimi Larsen and Alvaro Caraton right together, but Sally Sautunk looks as though he's got that move made and up into 12th position.
A lot of drivers out of the top 10, they went for the second stop.
Yeah.
While the top drivers in the top 3 position, they just had the one stop. And it will be interesting to check it out, the situation of Rasmussen, that now is gaining time on Brendan Lee. Now he's 2.2 seconds behind the leader, and they can try and they can have the chance at the end of this race.
Martin Stefanko has just been let through by Michael Schmidl into 8th place because his ultra-soft tyres are 3 laps less used than Michael Schmidl. So it looks as though they are making progress up the order there, the Haas team. My apologies, Schmidl's on the hypersofts, isn't he? And Stefanko is on the ultrasofts. Sven Zerner is on the hypersofts as well, as Matt was saying, all 3 compounds of tyre in use. Here we go now with Joni Tormala. Can he get past Michael Schmidl? The little beep means he can press his DRS button, opens it. Schmidl's got the DRS too. But here comes Joni Tormala up the inside, super late on the brakes with those super soft tyres, and he makes the move on Michael Schmidl, who drops down into 10th place. So Tormala coming into this race a little bit more as well.
Clean and smooth, was good in that maneuver. Tormala, he managed very well the attack, and now he's defending the position because the rival has the DRS, but yes, he got it, and I hope for him that he can catch some good points. Now he's 9th, he's using the super soft, he can finish the race with this compound, and probably he can catch some more points.
On board with Schmidl.
Nice that hotel, eh?
I don't know, have you stayed there?
Yeah, wonderful.
Have you stayed there?
But it's very expensive.
Wow. 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 No, I've never stayed there. Into the pits then comes Michael Schmidl, I think, for the Haas team. Yes, as does Sven Zerner as well. So Zerner had done only 7 laps on those hypersoft tyres. So maybe another set of hypersofts for the final stint, potentially, for Sven Zerner. But he was involved in the chaos on the opening lap too, so he's got a lot of work to do to try and make his way back up the order. Lap 21 of 28. Rasmussen gets the gap down to 2.1 seconds, but really the top 6 seem to be fairly set. Still keeping my eye on Fabrizio Donoso now, who's only 1.2 seconds behind Joni Tormala on softer, newer tyres. So I think Fabrizio Donoso, who we're watching here, is going to be closing in. Brendan Lee, though, still the race leader, 2 seconds ahead of Frederick Rasmussen.
Rasmussen is quicker, but is gaining too slowly, I think. It is like a mistake from Brandon Lee. If no, it's very difficult that he's going to have the chance to catch him. Look, he's 2 seconds in front of him. Now, 1 second, 0.9, but he's catching, he's gaining too slowly to Brandon Lee. It needs a mistake from his rival. If no, Brandon Lee is going to catch another victory. 6 laps to the end.
Kimi Larsen with a 3-second time penalty for track limits, and he's in 12th place, so that'll drop him down a couple of positions. We go on board with Brendan Lee. Need to keep an eye out on Fabrizio Donoso Delgado as well, because he was less than a second away from making a move. As we go on board with Brendan Lee, look at all the stuff he's up to on the right-hand side. He's turning the energy recovery system, he's deploying that energy, and then when he gets on the brakes, he'll turn it down to no deployment. Swinging into the left-hander. Drop that little screen down. Meanwhile, this is Tino Nakarinen in 16th place, trying to get past Marcel Kiefer, who's had a tough old race as Kiefer. And Sven Zerner is in front of Kimi Larsen now. So Larsen moving out of the way, potentially in that Renault team. And how is Donoso doing? He's still less than a second away from Joni Tormala. So I think that 8th place battle is going to kick off soon.
Yeah, Tormala that got 8th. He was 9 and now he's 8th. And seems that he's gaining to Martin Stefanko in front of him, that he's on a different strategy. He's just had 1 pit stop. So Tormala seems that he's one of the best in the second half of the race. And look, Rasmussen, 1.6.
Oh.
He gained 3/10 in the last lap. Maybe there is a chance of a fight in the one of the last few laps. 1.4. He's gaining. And remember that when you arrive under 1 second, you have the DRS and probably give you an extra 3/10 per lap, gaining the top speed on the straight.
So we'll keep an eye out on Frederick Rasmussen's gap to the front as ever. Here is Fabrizio Donoso, though. He is less than half a second away from Joni Tormala in their battle over 8th position in this squabble that could be key in the Constructors' Championship.
And Rasmussen, I'm sorry, man, but I'm looking Tino Nakarinen, 3-second penalty. I'm looking the standings now. Rasmussen down to 1.1. Remember that already won 1 race, I think in Baku, if I remember well. Just at the end of the main straight, it was unbelievable. It was an extremely race. So the man is able to catch the victory just at the very end. We'll see if he can catch it also today.
Sven Zerner sets the fastest lap of the race. Frederick Rasmussen's tyres are 1 lap fresher than Brendan Lee's. We're on lap 23 of 28. And we are on board now with Sally Sautunk, who is right behind Fabrizio Donoso. So Donoso more under pressure than he is attacking Tormala. Nice wide line from Sautunk into that hairpin. Turns up the ERS deployment.
Also, Donoso as the DRS, I think, will be not easy for Sally to try these overtakes, because look, when the car in front of you has the DRS, you're not gaining so much on the straight. You need to prepare very well this exit. From this chicane, look, he opened the line to cross, maybe it was a bit too wide, but Tormala is under pressure now.
Yeah, the Red Bull is going to be under big pressure. Sally Sautunk, did you see, selected shut up Jeff there on the right-hand side. That tells his engineer to be quiet. And the Red Bull and the Sauber and the Force India come together, bang wheels, and Joni Tormala holds the place for the time being. That was very close.
He was aggressive, Tormala, in defending position, but I think he was right. He tried Donoso on the outside. Maybe the choice was not so right. And Tormala, did you saw it? He opened a bit the line and it forced him to use the escape road.
Joni Tormala wants to hold on to that 8th position. Sally Sautunk can see 8th place waiting for him in a couple of corners' time, in a couple of places' time, as they come out of the final corner once more to start lap 23 of 28, or I should say lap 24 of 28. Not long to go now. 5 laps remaining in the 2018 F1 Esports Pro Series. We're on board with Sally Sautunk in 10th spot, up behind Fabrizio Donoso. Been sim racing for a long time, started on the Jeff Crammond Grand Prix games, like all the cool people.
It's Rasmussen. It's Rasmussen, 6/10, and now he has the using of the DRS. Look how much he gained on the main straight. Half a second behind. He catched him, and now he has 4 laps to think about, and a good move to get this victory.
Oh, so late on the brakes compared to Brendan Lee there. Rasmussen is right on the back of the reigning champion, the 2-time champion. He's got so much more speed.
In Italy we say he can feel the smell of the blood. I don't know if it's the same in...
Oh no, we're not quite that weird to say something like that.
But he can feel the chance.
Yeah.
He's the biggest of his career in the sims, in the race simulating. But look, seems that he studied the rival, tried to have the cleanest and smooth maneuver to get this victory.
Oh, surely this has got to be done for Frederick Rasmussen. He's right behind Brendan Lee. How hard is the Mercedes driver going to fight down to the chicane? A little bit too far back. Oh, thought there was going to be a little nudge there, but they just about kept it together. Now it's all about the exit from this hairpin.
Oh, he missed a bit of the apex, I think, of Brendan Lee.
We pretty much burned off our excess
Tucked
fuel.
up behind the race leader. The DRS will open now.
Overtakes the sprinter there. ERS deployed. Overtake.
Is he going to be close enough into the first chicane? I don't think so, unless he fancies a big lunge. But this, of course, was where Brendan Lee and Fabrizio Donoso Delgado had their huge scrap 1 year ago in the final race. That was for the overall title. This is just for honour and pride, and who is the best sim racer out there. And at the moment, Lee is covering it off and is holding position well.
Very well done from Brendan Lee, because he chose the line in the chicane.
Oh! Out of nowhere, Frederick Rasmussen up the inside, and he gets in front of Brendan Lee, does he? No. Lee holds the inside for the next two right-handers. Rasmussen goes all the way around the outside. Can he get that job done? No. Pushed out wide, still got the inside line, and he's in front. But does Brendan Lee get back to the inside?
Penalty.
Yes, so Lee back in front. Rasmussen gave that place back. That move came out of nowhere.
He has to stay calm because he's on the outside.
Oh, and he's got the outside. And now he'll have the inside for turn one. Brendan Lee comes across, closes the door a little on the Toro Rosso driver, tries to go around the outside at turn one. More wheel wagging between the two of them. And Rasmussen has the lead at the moment. All this is allowing Daniel Barasne to come and join the fight. But for now, Frederick Rasmussen into the lead of the race.
What a fight! They are two champions. And look, Brendan Lee. He never give up. He's still there, he tried.
Up the inside.
Impossible there.
He's done it.
Whoa! Whoa! That was a wonderful move. And look, Beresny is going to try. How is possible that he tried there?
But now here comes Rasmussen, because Brendan Lee got the overtake and the DRS by going up the inside of the hairpin. So now Rasmussen will have to fight again, coming down into the next chicane. We're on lap 26 of 28. There is not long to go, and it's a three-way fight for the win in Abu Dhabi.
He's going to try again, because look, Rasmussen has the DRS. Probably Brendan Lee is going to close the line.
Here they come on the brakes. Lee emerges just in front, but surely Rasmussen knows he seems to have better times. He seems to be able to have more grip than Brendan Lee.
Yeah, but Brendan Lee is still leading the race. And now, 2 laps to the end. Oh!
He's gone for it again up the inside. And Lee just about holds on for the time being. Nudge, nudge, nudge. Bit of damage maybe on the front of Frederick Rasmussen's car there. Daniel Barasne still can't quite take the fight to the two of them. But they're both finding such crazy places to try and overtake, aren't they?
Come on, Beresny, I believe in you. He's third. He's just gaining so much time, and now he's in a fresh mental condition. He never fought during this race, and now he got the chance to win the race from the third position. Not in easy condition, but he's there. The victory is not far. Less than 1 second. Have a try, mate.
Penultimate lap of the race, penultimate lap of the season. Super late on the brakes, so we're going to get an inside move into the hairpin this time.
That's right.
Side by side, and he's got it done again.
Beresny,
Brendan Lee is pushed out wide, but he's still going to be in front, and he's been given a 3-second time penalty. Lee gets a time penalty for exceeding track limits, and now the two Mercedes are nose to tail, and Beresny's going to try and take them both up the inside. 3 wide for the lead, and Daniel Beresny is in front.
Yes! What a move! He was just very clever, but now he still has to defend.
So now Beresny in front, and Brendan Lee will try and hold off Frederick Rasmussen again. But now the Dane will be absolutely determined to try and make the move stick. Brendan Lee back around the outside, the two Mercedes in fighting formation. And the Toro Rosso through.
Probably second.
No, but Brendan Lee's coming back up the inside now, and he still holds on to that position. Here comes Bono Huis out of nowhere. McLaren are getting into this fight too. Rasmussen is going to be so frustrated being stuck behind Brendan Lee, because this is giving Daniel Beresnay a big lead with only a lap to go.
Pay attention to Bono Lewis, that he has fresher tires and he can try at the very late attack on the last corner.
So
look at him.
They're about to start the final lap of the race, and Daniel Beresnay is gone. Surely he has got this one. Brendan Lee has done it. And there's Bono Huis on the inside. Almost pushed into the wall, and Bono Huis now is up into third place in front of Fredrik Rasmussen.
And he can be second considering the penalty of Brendan Lee.
Yeah, so Brendan Lee second on the road, but now this is the battle for second in the race, because surely Daniel Beresnay has got the job done. Going on to the final lap, he is more than a second in front of Bono Huis and in front of Fredrik Rasmussen. So who's going to finish in second place? What a superb performance it would be from Huis and the McLaren Shadow team if they could pick up a podium in the final race of the season. Here is Rasmussen. He's a bit too far back, isn't he? Daniel Beresnay is leading the way. Huis in second, Lee in second, but Huis ultimately in second once Brendan Lee has served his 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. He will be furious with that. He will claim that he was pushed off the track all of those times by Fredrik Rasmussen. Wow.
You're right. I'm just tired for them, to be honest.
Tired for them?
Yeah, I'm tired. I don't know why, but the race destroyed me. I think that Bono Lewis is going to try the attack, not an easy place, but look, after the second right, very quick, he's going to try. No, maybe he knew about the penalty, and he just need to finish there to get the second position, but he's so close to Brendan Lee.
So Brendan Lee has already wrapped up the Drivers' Championship. Mercedes are going to wrap up the Teams' Championship with victory for Daniel Beresnay in the final race of 2018. Wow. Wonderful drive, wonderful race, wonderful victory for the Hungarian. Bono Huis across the line in second. Superb performance from him. Fredrik Rasmussen in third across the line, with Benito fourth. So that penalty for Brendan Lee sees him drop down to fifth position. Sixth for Alec van der Waal. Now, fantastic race. Something tells me Fredrik Rasmussen's already got up from his rig, and we'll see whether he goes and has any discussions. I just wonder if there might be some people, Davide, making some complaints or, you know, protests or something like that, maybe.
To be honest, Brendan Lee was very aggressive in defending position, but Rasmussen, maybe he lost a bit the momentum. He had to try immediately when he catch Brendan Lee, and he couldn't use the chance at the end. Beresnay, he conquered a fantastic race, and he was incredible in finding the right time to get this victory. Beresnay was the man of the day.
He was the boss. Great performance from Daniel Beresnay. He takes victory in the final race of the F1 New Balance Esports Pro Series of 2018. A superb performance, and it's he that is on the top step of the podium. Great result for the McLaren team as well. That's going to really secure them a strong position as far as the Teams' Championship is concerned. We'll bring you all the championship standings before too long. Well, it has been a fantastic season of racing, and what a way to end it as well.